Welcome back, everyone. I'm really glad you're here because today's ranked match is something special. We're jumping into another competitive game with Reyna, one of the most aggressive duelists in VALORANT, and from the very beginning the goal is simple. Trust the aim, make smart decisions, and never give the enemy team an easy fight. Every ranked match tells a different story. Some games are slow and tactical, while others instantly become chaotic. You never truly know what kind of opponents you're facing until those first few rounds unfold. That's exactly what makes competitive VALORANT so exciting. Every lobby feels different, every player has their own style, and adapting quickly is often the difference between winning and losing. The opening rounds are always about gathering information, watching how the enemy moves around the map, understanding their habits, and figuring out which players like to take early fights can create massive opportunities later in the game. Patience is just as important as confidence. Reyna is a perfect agent for players who believe in taking calculated risks. Every successful duel creates another opportunity to keep pushing forward. One clean elimination can completely change the pace of a round, especially when confidence starts building. Right away, both teams are looking for early control. Nobody wants to give away free space, and every corner feels dangerous. Utility begins flying across the map while both sides carefully test each other's defenses, waiting for someone to make the first mistake. This is where staying calm becomes incredibly valuable. It's easy to rush decisions in ranked, especially when the pressure starts building, but the players who consistently climb are usually the ones who know exactly when to slow the game down. As the match begins finding its rhythm, every successful duel starts adding pressure to the enemy team. They begin questioning every peek, every rotation, and every aggressive play they were confident enough to make just moments ago. Momentum in VALORANT is a fascinating thing. One successful round often leads to another, not only because of the economy, but because confidence spreads throughout the entire team. Players communicate better, react faster, and begin trusting each other's decisions. On the other side, frustration starts becoming visible. Every missed opportunity forces the enemy to rethink their strategy. Suddenly, they're rotating earlier, holding safer angles, and becoming far less comfortable taking aggressive fights. That's exactly when Reyna becomes even more dangerous. Instead of forcing unnecessary battles, every engagement is carefully chosen. There's no reason to rush when patience can create a much cleaner opportunity. Waiting just a few extra seconds often allows the enemy to expose themselves without even realizing it. As both teams continue exchanging rounds, the intensity keeps rising. Nobody wants to fall behind this early in the match because recovering momentum becomes increasingly difficult as the economy develops. Every sound matters. Every footstep, every reload, every ability used somewhere across the map tells its own story. Experienced players constantly collect this information without even thinking about it. Small details become valuable clues that help predict exactly where the next fight is about to happen. As the pressure continues building, confidence starts replacing hesitation. Every successful engagement reinforces the idea that sometimes trusting your instincts is the correct decision. Of course, overconfidence can be punished immediately, but finding the balance between aggression and discipline is what separates good Reyna players from great ones. The enemy team refuses to make things easy. They constantly adjust their positioning, trying different site setups, experimenting with faster pushes and slower defaults, hoping something finally breaks the momentum. But adaptation works both ways. Every round provides new information, making future decisions even stronger than before. Understanding how opponents react under pressure allows smarter rotations, cleaner crosshair placement, and better timing in almost every engagement. One thing becomes increasingly clear. This isn't going to be one of those quick ranked games. Both teams are fully committed. Every round feels meaningful. Every duel carries weight. Every mistake becomes expensive. As the match continues unfolding, the action only gets faster, and it's becoming obvious that this game still has plenty of incredible moments waiting to happen. The match is finally starting to settle into its true rhythm, and at this point, both teams have gathered enough information to understand what they're up against. Nobody is playing completely blind anymore. Every rotation, every ability, and every aggressive peak is becoming more calculated than before. One thing that stands out in games like this is confidence. The more successful engagements you win, the easier it becomes to trust your instincts. That doesn't mean every fight should be taken, but hesitation can be just as dangerous as overcommitting. Reyna thrives when momentum is on her side. Every duel has the potential to snowball into something much bigger, forcing the enemy team to constantly question whether they should challenge another angle or simply fall back and give up control. You can almost feel the pressure building with every passing round. The enemy team refuses to back down. Instead of repeating the same strategy, they're constantly adjusting their approach, trying faster executions one round and slowing the pace the next. It's exactly what you'd expect from a competitive ranked lobby where nobody wants to be the weak link. That's what makes these matches so entertaining. Neither side is willing to hand over free rounds. Every inch of map control has to be earned. As utility fills the map, patience becomes one of the strongest weapons available. Sometimes the smartest play isn't firing the first bullet. Sometimes it's waiting just long enough for the opponent to believe they're safe before catching them completely off guard. Those small timing differences often decide entire rounds. You can see how the confidence continues growing. The movement feels cleaner. The crosshair placement becomes more disciplined. Every decision starts looking a little sharper than it did just a few rounds ago. That's usually a sign that a player is fully locked in. The enemy team starts feeling that pressure as well. Instead of confidently swinging every corner, they're checking angles more carefully, using extra utility, and showing just a little more respect than they did at the beginning of the game. Respect in VALORANT is earned. Nobody gives it away for free. One of the most satisfying parts about playing Reyna is knowing that one clean engagement can instantly change everything. Suddenly the numbers shift, the pressure flips to the other side, and what looked like a difficult situation becomes an opportunity to completely take over the round. Of course, ranked games are never that simple. Momentum can disappear just as quickly as it arrives. One small mistake, one missed shot, one poorly timed rotation. That's sometimes all it takes to completely change the direction of a match. That's why consistency matters more than flashy highlights. The best players aren't always the ones making impossible plays. They're the ones making the correct decision over and over again. As the economy continues evolving, every purchase starts carrying more weight. Teams become more selective with their utility, more careful about unnecessary risks, and much more aware of the consequences of losing a single round. This is usually where mental strength begins separating players. It's easy to stay confident while everything goes your way. The real challenge is keeping that same confidence after a difficult round. Instead of chasing revenge or forcing unnecessary fights, staying composed often creates much stronger opportunities later in the match. Communication also becomes more important with every passing minute. Quick callouts, accurate information, and trusting teammates can completely transform an average round into a perfectly coordinated execute. But even with great teamwork, sometimes individual confidence becomes the deciding factor. There are moments when you simply have to trust your mechanics, trust your reaction speed, and believe that you've put in enough practice to come out on top. Those are the moments every Reyna player lives for. As the halfway point of the match slowly approaches, it becomes obvious that neither team is willing to surrender control without a fight. Every round feels increasingly important, every duel carries more pressure, and every elimination pushes the momentum just a little further in one direction. The atmosphere keeps getting heavier. The intensity keeps rising. And somehow, it still feels like the best moments of this ranked game haven't even happened yet. Stay focused because this match is only getting started. At this stage of the match, the pressure feels completely different from the opening rounds. Both teams have already shown what they're capable of, and now every decision carries much more weight than before. Nobody is surprised anymore. The enemy already knows they're dealing with someone who's confident enough to take difficult fights, and that changes the entire pace of the game. Suddenly, every angle has to be respected. Every sound becomes suspicious. Every second feels longer than it actually is. This is where ranked matches become a mental battle just as much as a mechanical one. You start noticing hesitation. Players begin second-guessing themselves. Should they rotate? Should they commit? Should they save? Those tiny moments of uncertainty often decide the outcome long before the first bullet is fired. Meanwhile, confidence continues growing. every successful duel reinforces the idea that staying calm under pressure is always the better choice. It's not about playing faster than everyone else. It's about making the right decision at exactly the right moment. Reyna rewards players who trust themselves. The more comfortable you become, the more dangerous every peak looks to the opposing team. One thing that's impossible to ignore is how quickly momentum can shift in VALORANT. A single clean round can completely reset the atmosphere. Suddenly your teammates start communicating with more confidence, rotations become faster, and everyone begins believing the comeback, or the domination, is possible. That's why giving up is never an option. No matter what the scoreboard says. Every round is a brand new opportunity. As the clock keeps ticking, the tempo of the game becomes unpredictable. Some rounds explode into action within seconds, while others slow down into a tense battle of patience, with both teams waiting for someone to crack first. Those quiet moments are often the most dangerous. Because when nobody moves, everybody is waiting. Every crosshair is already locked on an angle. Every player is listening for the smallest sound. One footstep, one reload, one abilities. That's all it takes to start the next fight. You can almost feel both teams trying to read each other's minds. Vague pressure, unexpected rotations, delayed pushes. Everything becomes part of the strategy. The deeper this match goes, the more valuable experience becomes. Raw aim can win individual duels, but game sense wins entire matches. Understanding when to challenge and when to back away is a skill that doesn't always appear on the scoreboard, but it often makes the biggest difference. And that's exactly what makes competitive VALORANT so addictive. Every match teaches something new. Every opponent forces you to adapt. Every mistake becomes another lesson. Instead of chasing highlight plays every single round, consistency slowly starts paying off. Small victories begin stacking together until the enemy team realizes they're constantly playing from behind. Pressure creates mistakes. Mistakes create opportunities. And opportunities create victories. As confidence continues building, every movement across the map feels more deliberate. Crosshair placement stays disciplined. Utility is used with purpose. Rotations become smoother. It's the kind of rhythm every competitive player hopes to reach during a ranked session. But nobody should feel comfortable just yet. The enemy team is still searching for answers. They're changing positions, trying different timings, experimenting with new ways to break the momentum. That's what makes this lobby so entertaining. Neither side is willing to make things easy. Every round feels earned. Every elimination matters. Every clutch has the potential to become the turning point of the entire match. This is exactly why people love ranked. The unpredictability, the tension, the constant feeling that one incredible moment could happen at any second. And as we move closer to the final stretch of this game, the pressure only continues to rise. The stakes get higher. The fights become cleaner. The reactions become faster. Because everyone understands one simple truth. The winner won't just be the team with better aim. It'll be the team that keeps its composure when everything is on the line. And judging by the way this match is unfolding, we're heading toward an unforgettable finish. The deeper this match goes, the more every single round begins to feel like a championship point. Nobody is willing to give away even the smallest advantage, and that pressure is becoming visible on both sides of the server. This is where experience starts speaking louder than confidence. Mechanics can win a duel, but composure wins games. You can almost sense the hesitation creeping into the enemy team. Every rotation takes a little longer. Every peak feels just a little more cautious. They're no longer playing the same fearless VALORANT they showed in the opening rounds. Instead, they're reacting. And that's exactly where you want your opponents to be. When a team stops creating opportunities and starts responding to yours, the momentum has already begun shifting. Every second that passes increases the tension. The economy is becoming more valuable. Utility is running low. Mistakes are becoming expensive. This isn't just another ranked match anymore. It's become a battle of discipline. One unnecessary swing, One missed timing. One poorly placed ability. That's all it takes for an entire round to disappear. This is exactly why patience is one of the strongest weapons in competitive play. Not every fight needs to happen immediately. Sometimes the smartest move is simply waiting. Waiting for the enemy to grow impatient. Waiting for someone to overextend. Waiting for that one opportunity that changes everything. And when that opportunity finally appears, you have to commit without hesitation. That's the difference between average players and the ones who consistently climb the ranked ladder. They don't panic. They don't overthink. They trust their preparation. One thing that's impossible to ignore is how much confidence changes the way someone plays Reyna. Once you start believing in your own mechanics, every angle becomes an opportunity instead of a threat. Instead of worrying about who might be holding the next corner, you start asking yourself, can they actually stop me? That's a dangerous mindset for any opponent to face. Because confidence spreads, teammates begin following faster. Communication becomes clearer. The entire team starts believing every round is winnable. Even difficult situations suddenly feel manageable. But Ranked has a funny way of humbling everyone. Just when you think you've completely taken control, the enemy finds an answer. A clever rotation, an unexpected setup, a perfectly timed push. That's why adaptation never stops. Every round is another puzzle waiting to be solved. The strongest players aren't the ones who repeat the same strategy over and over. They're the ones capable of changing before the enemy even realizes what's happening. As the final rounds begin getting closer, the atmosphere inside the match becomes almost impossible to describe. Nobody wants to be responsible for the mistake that throws everything away. Every sound feels louder. Every decision feels heavier. Every duel feels like it could define the outcome of the game. This is where legends are remembered. Not because every shot connects. Not because every decision is perfect. But because they continue believing in themselves when the pressure reaches its highest point. You don't need flashy plays every round. You don't need impossible flicks every minute. Sometimes all it takes is one calm decision. One confident peek. One perfectly timed engagement. To completely change the story of the match. And judging by everything that's happened so far, it feels like we're only one incredible moment away from witnessing exactly that. Stay with me, because the ending of this ranked game is shaping up to be something truly unforgettable. Everything has been building toward this moment. Every opening duels, every rotation, every risky decision, every victory and every setback. It all leads here. The final rounds of a ranked match are unlike anything else in VALORANT. The pressure is impossible to ignore. Nobody wants to make the mistake that everyone remembers, but at the same time, everyone dreams of making the play that wins the game. This is where confidence is truly tested. Not when the match is comfortable. Not when the scoreboard is one-sided. Right here, when every second matters. You can almost feel both teams slowing the game down, carefully thinking through every possibility before committing to a move. Nobody wants to reveal too much information. Nobody wants to be the first player caught out of position. The silence before the action is almost louder than the fight itself. Then, everything happens at once. Abilities fill the map. Gunfire echoes through every corridor. Rotations become desperate. The entire pace of the game explodes in just a matter of seconds. This is exactly why people fall in love with competitive VALORANT. Because no matter how many matches you've played, no matter how many victories you've earned, moments like these never stop making your heart race. This is where trust becomes everything. Trust your teammates. Trust your instincts. Trust the hours you've spent improving your mechanics. Trust the decisions that brought you this far. The enemy team knows what's at stake. They're fighting for every inch of space. Every duel feels like it could decide the outcome of the entire match. Nobody is holding back anymore. Every peak is intentional. Every movement has purpose. Every elimination changes the balance of the round. This isn't just about aim anymore. It's about discipline. It's about composure. It's about believing in yourself when the pressure reaches its highest point. That's what separates good players from unforgettable ones. Anyone can perform when everything is going perfectly. But the players people remember, the ones who consistently make the impossible look easy. They're the ones who stay calm when everything is falling apart. As the final moments arrive, the atmosphere reaches its peak. One last opportunity. One last chance to prove yourself. One final test. Whether you're attacking or defending. Whether you're holding an angle or pushing forward. Every choice now carries enormous weight. This is the kind of round players remember long after the match is over. The kind they tell their friends about. The kind that reminds you why you keep queuing for just one more game. And when the final engagement finally arrives, there are no excuses, no fear, no hesitation, only confidence, only commitment, only the belief that this next decision could become the highlight of the entire match. Victory isn't always decided by the player with the fastest aim. Sometimes it's decided by the player who refuses to lose. And that's exactly what makes competitive VALORANT so special. Every match tells a story. Some are forgotten the moment they end. Others stay with you long after the scoreboard disappears. Whether this game was filled with insane clutches, incredible team play, or moments that could have gone either way, one thing is certain. It was another reminder that every ranked queue has the potential to become unforgettable. If you enjoyed coming along for the journey, there are plenty more matches waiting just around the corner. More intense rounds, more impossible situations, more moments where one single play changes everything. Until the next game, keep improving, keep believing in your aims, keep trusting your instincts. If you enjoyed this ranked journey, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more VALORANT content. Every bit of support helps the channel grow, and I'll see you in the next match.